welcome to this very light, if you like, overview of the National Road Rally that's coming up in less than 2 weeks' time now. What is it? Well, you can have a look through these photographs which were taken at last year's rally, where I did the gold level. Now, more on the levels later, but basically it's a navigational scatter rally similar to the Welsh one that I did last month, although this one is more involved at the planning stages anyway. Now, that doesn't make either one better or worse than the other, just different. This one's a little bit more long-winded. That said, the geography of your route, which could vary, is arguably faster than the Welsh roads, for obvious reasons, mountains mainly. Now, if you haven't seen the Welsh National Rally videos, give them a look. They're further down in the list of Himalayan Yak videos, and there's about 20 episodes, the reason being to keep them short. The difference between, or the major difference between the Welsh one and the English one, although we do nip into Wales at one point, if you indeed go that way, is that with the Welsh one, you answer questions at each control point, at each location you visit. The English one is not like that. There's more to the planning side, I suppose, because depending on what level you do, depends how accurate you have to be in regards to the number of controls visited and the number of points. Now, this year, I'm calling the distances between controls points. Doesn't really matter what they are called, you've got to total the right amount up for the level that you are doing. There's no questions with the English National Rally, but there is some things to do depending on which level you are doing. If you need any information, obviously check the website, it's all there, although you do have to hunt around for some of it. Now, you don't get the full picture of whichever year it is, in this case of course 2019, you don't get the full picture until 2 weeks before the rally, when your final instructions pack comes through, and this is the booklet that comes with that pack. Most importantly, if you've missed out on this year's rally, there's the dates for 2020 and 2021. I'm not going to go through all the information in this pack because we will be here for quite a long time, but things do vary depending on which level of rally you're going to do. Of course, should you wish, you could always pause the video and have a read. Now, this might look a little weird to you if you haven't seen it before. This is the control matrix map, sort of a schematic map. All the numbers there relate to control points. You'll notice that not all the control point numbers are printed in the same way. That is because there are different control points. It does look a little bit weird, so I'll give you an idea of where you are in England and a little bit of Wales in relation to everywhere else, so it gives you a bit of an idea. Looking right up the top in the north, we've got Stockton-on-Tees. Moving round clockwise, in the east we've got Ely. In the south we've got Totton, which is near Southampton. And in the west we've got Welshpool. That should give you some idea of the extremities of the rally. As well as all the rules, information, regulations included in this final control booklet, there is also the supplementary regulations which can be downloaded from the website. Also included in the final instructions pack is this list of control details. The total number of controls is 65, but you don't have to visit all those controls. Let's have a look at some details from one of the controls. This is the information contained in the list for the Barnsley control. So starting at the top left, you've got the control number, number 4, and it's Barnsley. The organising club is Barnsley Bikers Club, they'll be running it. It's a standard control, opens at 12 midday on Saturday, closes at 6 AM on the Sunday. The only other thing of note is the directions on the right, showing you the address, and any clues, such as in this case, in between Barnsley and Hemsworth on the A628. Also in the pack is the control card. Now, you have some details you fill in yourself, rather like the Welsh National Rally when I mentioned it in one of the videos for that. If you haven't paid and you haven't therefore got your pack, rider number and all the information you required, you ain't going to get in the rally for nothing. So don't think you will just by copying what you've got here. So starting at number 1, you'd add the first control where you're going to start, your start control, the start time, the earliest being 12 midday on the Saturday. Then progress to your controls, adding them in as you go at the control points, either stamped, signed. You do have to sign in as well, by the way, when you get there, as well as your card. There's a form to sign in, and the time, it's all noted. And you accumulate your controls to match the number of controls you need for your level, and indeed the points. You've got to get both right. Also in the pack is this sticker I wish they'd do a smaller one so you could put it on the front of your bike. I've got one of these already and it's on one of my panniers, and it's about 4 inch by 3.5 inch, so it's a little bit big, but easier to see, I suppose. Here's the list of categories and their descriptions. Now, there's quite a few, as you can see, so I'm not going to go through all of them. Last year I did the gold. The reason I did the gold, which is the third from the top, is because it left me something to shoot for this year. So, if you haven't seen the videos, here's a spoiler. I did complete the gold award last year on the Himalayan Webley. Now for that one, you have to total between 500 and 540 points. Below it or over it, it does not count. Now last year I started at Kidderminster and I finished at Worcester, neither of which are too far from where I live. But that does make things difficult in some respects. It's better for you, your body and how you feel. There's a lot less distance to travel to the start and from the finish at the end to get back home. Easier on the body, but it can make it quite awkward to plan successfully. The beauty of the gold is the fact that you haven't got a fixed amount of controls to visit. That's up to you. This meant it was feasible for me to do and start near home and finish near home. And as it was my first rally of any kind like this, probably a good idea. Now the special gold, the next level up from gold, is a little different because you do have a minimum amount of controls to visit. That minimum is 22 controls and there is no leeway on the number of points. It is 540 exactly. The platinum level is the same as special gold, except there are some special tasks to complete. And after all that, this is where we start the planning, utilising all the information we've got, cross-referencing and things like that. But again, don't be put off by that. Now, last year, doing the gold, 3 attempts at the rough planning, and I got something I could use. This year, having to be spot on in accuracy, in points and controls, although you can go over 22, it took a while. It took me 6 or 7 hours, I think, on and off, not all at the same time. And I lost count, but I think my last and final and only one that I got to tally was the 17th one. This is just an example. Now, you can try doing it backwards. You must finish at a finish control if you're doing, in my case, the special gold. There are different variations on the different levels. You're best to think of what you'd like to do and have a look at it in more detail yourself. You can ask me any question you like, but I'm not an expert. This is only my second year. I'd recommend you going and joining the Facebook pages and asking them there. Now, being a Royal Enfield fan, I wanted to start at Redditch. If you didn't know, that's where they used to make them. Not mine, of course. Mine are made in India, but they don't have a control for Chennai this year. This example of my rough planning is actually 3 examples. The first one I was 10 short at 530 points, then well over at 555 points, and the last one I was 5 over at 545. So how do I go about it then? Well, it's quite simple really. It can be quite time consuming. I know where I'm going to finish. I want to finish near home at least. In my case, I want to finish at Worcester this year, and that's something like 25 miles or so away. So at least I haven't got too far to get back home at the end of the rally. In the end, I had to forget using Redditch as a start location, although I am going through it in the end of the rally, I think it is. That was the rough but working plan. This is a bit of a neater version, and at this point, it's been checked about 5 times. You'll notice that there's a lot of information missing. That's purely because it took me quite a while to do this, and it's only my second rally, and maybe I'll get better at it the more I do. But this is all part of the rally, so what I'm saying is really, do your own, and you'll learn more about the rally, how it works. You will have to ask a few questions, I dare say. You can ask me, I'm no expert, but you're better off, as I've already said, go to the Facebook pages or message the organisers from there. The next stage, which I haven't started yet, will be to add in some average times to see if the whole plan may not work totally on paper, but is close and worth a go. The next stage will look rather like this one from the recent Welsh National Rally. Pretty much the same, although there might be a little bit more information. Once that's done, I'll use this pattern, again as I used in the Welsh National Rally, to draw round a piece of card. The instructions will be written on those pieces of card, and here you can see they fit into my tank bag window. And that, folks, is it. Although it is very roughly it. If you finish at a finish control, instead of some of the rallies where you post your cards back in, you will receive one of these plaques. At least this was last year's plaque. And about 6 weeks after the rally or so, you'll get posted a little plaque with your name on that you can stick on, and it's also got the award that you actually won.